On behalf of YSR Congress Party and my President Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu, I thank you and thank you very much, sir. Sir, I'll address only 3 issues because of the paucity of time, which I consider, my party considers, are very important issues so far as GST is concerned, sir. The first issue is multiple tax rates. Sir, GST Council has recommended 4-tier GST structure of 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Sir, in fact, if we go back to the history, in 2015, December 2015, the expert committee that has been constituted on revenue neutrality rate on GST had suggested 3 different structures for GST. Sir, the committee also has noted, see the recommendations of the committee, while giving the recommendations, the committee has noted that 90% of the countries which have adopted this GST have opted only for a single rate structure. However, GST Council has recommended 4-tier tax structure, and further, this 13th Finance Commission in 2009 has recommended that their GST should be levied at a single rate of 12%. Sir, there is no problem with the multiple tax structure, but there is only one difficulty which I request the Government of India to take cognizance of. Sir, the difficulty in having the multiple tax rates is with reference to the classification of goods. Sir, while classifying the goods, there will be intense, I am really afraid, there will be intense lobbying from the various industries to accommodate them at the lower tax structure. This is going to be a genuine difficulty which the Government of India would be facing, sir. Sir, another difficulty, for example, in Kerala, the coconut oil in Kerala is right now taxed at 5%, whereas in Uttar Pradesh it is taxed at 12.5%. How are we going to classify this? Do we intend to bring it under 5% or 12%? See, in the light of the fact that there are different tax structures, the difficulty is that how to accommodate, how to classify each of the product into a slot of different tax lots, sir. The next point which I would like to bring to the notice of the Honorable Finance Minister is the cascading effect. Sir, under clause 9 subclause 2 of central GST, central CGST, crude oil, diesel, petrol and aviation turbine fuel, these 4 products, though the GST is applicable not with immediate effect, but with effect from the date that will be announced in the future. This is what clause 9 and subclause 2 says. Sir, here the difficulty is all other products other than this 4, crude oil, aviation turbine fuel, diesel and petrol. Apart from these 4, kerosene, naphtha and all other petroleum products and petrochemical products also are covered under the GST with effect from the date that is after passing this act by both houses of the Parliament. Here is the difficulty, sir. Currently, the petroleum refineries are allowed to avail the input credit against the central taxes, central excise duty and service tax. Petroleum companies on an average claim about 59.48% according to the figures available from the Petroleum Ministry itself, sir. The input tax credit that is being availed by the petroleum companies as of today is only 59.48%. The question that arises is, okay, what will happen to the remaining 40%? That's a question. The 40% which cannot be availed now is treated as a stranded cost. That's a input tax benefit which is not being utilized by the petroleum companies. This is right now the position, sir. Sir, according to the report by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy, keeping the petroleum products out of the purview of GST, will lead to cascading of taxes worth 1.99 lakh crores, sir. This is what they have estimated. Sir, in fact, I have made a brief working as to what will be the cascading effect, how to calculate the cascading effect. According to the formula that is available, see, the cascading effect can be calculated like this, sir. Total tax incidence minus direct tax incidence divided by final demand of the sector is equivalent to degree of the cascading of taxes, sir. In fact, when we work it out, the degree of cascading of taxes in respect of various sectors, for example, in the case of metallic minerals, it is 1.4. It means 1 is to 1.4. The cascading effect, right now, the cost of 1 rupee of metallic minerals after introduction of GST will be 1 rupee 40 paisa. For every 1 rupee, the incremental effect of the cost would be 1.4 here and after the GST comes into force. In respect of textiles, it is 2.9. 1 is to 2.9. Means for every 1 rupee, the increase would be another 1.9. It means 2.9. But for the petroleum products, the increase is really significant. Cascading effect is really significant. It is 8.7, which is very high, and it will have a tremendous impact on the petroleum products, sir. In the case of machinery and machinery tools, it is 2.6. When I refer to 2.6, it is 1 is to 2.6. So it will be 2.6 times, sir. Sir, the third point which this is the last point, sir. I will not take much time. The third point which I would like to bring to your notice is anti-profiteering committee. Sir, the objective of anti-profiteering committee is, see, because at every stage, when the taxes GST is levied, it is only levied on the value addition. The objective of anti-profiteering committee is to ensure that the tax is levied only on value addition, and when it comes to the end use, the seller of the product will charge the GST only on the value addition at the end, value addition at the last stage. Therefore, what will happen if the seller who finally sells the product, even though he avails the input tax credit, charges the full GST, what will be the impact of that? The impact of that would be the profitability. There could be some manufacturers, there could be some traders who have got the intention of jacking up their profits, making more money. They may charge this full GST, even though they avail the input tax credit. They'll claim in the books of accounts as if they have not utilized this input tax credit. Thereby, the profits of the company would go up, sir. See, ultimately, what is the objective of the GST? The objective of the GST is that the benefits under GST would be passed on to the consumer. This is the objective. See, why this anti-profiteering committee is constituted is only for this reason, to ensure that the benefits are being passed on to the end users. This is the objective. But, sir, in reality, what is happening is, sir, in Malaysia in 2015, when it was introduced, even there also anti-profiteering committee was constituted. But in reality, what happened was, there was a multiple litigation, and eventually, there were some administrative difficulties to implement those anti-profiteering committee. Therefore, it has been abandoned. So my point here is, sir, my humble submission to the Honorable Finance Minister is, this committee should be carefully, and guidelines for the committee should be carefully drafted, guidelines should be carefully framed, and the powers that are vested with the committee should not be misused, and the committee should perform its duties for which it is constituted.
आपके प्रधानमंत्री ने मीरठ के भाषण में कहा कि पाकिस्तान की धरती पर हमने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया, मतलब वो पीओके नहीं रहा, भारत ने अपना अधिकार भूल लिया। इसका प्रश्न का जवाब निशिकांत जी आपको देना होगा।